more now on that ABC News exclusive with Ivanka Trump. Presidential advisor, first daughter in the hot seat amid growing questions about her father's policies at the border and the Russia investigation. Deborah Roberts sat down with Ivanka. She is back with more. Hey, Deborah.
Hey, George. With Congress weighing whether to investigate Ivanka Trump over her use of personal emails in the White House, she says she's moving forward, focusing on her technology initiative. But for many, it is her father's policies that are front and center, including immigration. There are some very shocking images coming across these days at the border.
Yes.
Gassing families, children. How have you responded to those images?
I think like any other person with a heart, it's devastating to see the images and seeing children put at risk. Running towards the border is heartbreaking. There's no other way to process it. It also makes me angry. It makes me angry that we haven't been able to come together as a nation and change our laws.
Your father has authorized lethal force, he says, if necessary. Does that concern you?
I don't believe that that's what he said, but his primary role as commander-in-chief is obviously to protect the nation's borders. He has to protect our country's security. But lethal force in this case would that is not, I think, something that anyone's talking about.
But the president on Thanksgiving did say exactly that.
If they have to, they're going to use lethal force. I've given the okay. Yeah, if they have to, I hope they don't have to.
When we pointed it out, Ivanka clarified.
So lethal force under any circumstance would be the last resort. But he is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces of this country. So he always has to be able to protect the border. He's not talking about innocence. So he's not talking about innocent asylum seekers.
Have you weighed in?
Oh, of course. I mean, nobody wants to see anyone get hurt. And I think that for many months, we've talked about finding that bipartisan solution, fixing this border crisis. And no one can now look at the situation we have with the caravans and say that our border is not in crisis. It is.
Also hanging over the White House, the Mueller Russia probe, which could implicate members of the Trump family, including Ivanka's brother, Don Jr., and her husband, Jared Kushner.
How concerned are you about the Mueller investigation?
I'm not.
You're not?
I know the facts as they relate to me and my family, and so I have nothing to be concerned about.
Do you think it should continue?
I think it should reach its conclusion. I think it's been a long time that this has been ongoing. But I want it to be done in a way in which nobody could question that it was hurried or rushed. And I think after this long period of time, we're well beyond that point. So I think it absolutely should reach its conclusion.
Last time we sat down, you said your father was going to be a terrific unifier. Does it trouble you that there are a lot of people who are fearful of your dad's presidency?
Yeah. The country is very divided, and it has been very divided. And I have seen my whole life, my father is an incredible unifier.
But many people say that your father is doing nothing to heal. If anything, he's creating more of a climate for hatred and for fear-mongering. What do you say to that?
I reject that. I think that he is creating policy that's going to lift all Americans. And that's what his #1 role is. But we need to have this dialogue. And sometimes the expressions of anger and resistance are the moment before you really start to engage in earnest. And we are looking to do that.
But his tone doesn't reflect that. And there are people who are wondering, as a White House advisor, do you advise him on his tone?
He's my father, and he's my boss. And one of the reasons that I have such a good relationship with him in both a personal and professional capacity is because I'm incredibly candid with him. But my discussions with him are between me and him. And that makes sense for anyone who has a seat at the table and whose voice is heard. So
you do disagree with him from time to time?
Oh, frequently. And he knows it. He knows exactly where I stand on any issue.
Ivanka Trump says she will not publicly disagree with her father. She insists it is not her place to change his policy decisions, but she says she does weigh in with her opinions.
And yeah, she does try to influence him, no question about that.
Behind the scenes.
And we're going to have a lot more of your interview coming up in our next hour. You visit with Apple CEO Tim Cook as well.
That's exactly right, in this school in Idaho.
Looking forward to that. Thank you, Tab. Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.